Okay, all right. So thank you so much, everyone, once again for joining. Like we mentioned last time, we all agreed that, you all are going to try out the other direction for the Airtable and Salesforce so that it can be bi-directional. How many people were able to try it? Let me see your faces. How many people tried it out? I don't tell me nobody tried that. The camera what happened? You were busy all through the weekend.
Yes, I was honestly. I was.
Okay, all right, great.
Yeah.
Great. Okay, so it means nobody tried it out. Okay, the problem is fine. Let's do it then. It's better. Now we do it together. Okay, so what we want to do basically is that, of course, we just a quick recap whenever we create the record in a table, the same record will be created in Salesforce, and there's an evidence of it. I think the last record that we used, Jalga King, and on Airtable, we created this on in Salesforce. Okay, so but basically, I want to try and do the other direction so that whatever is created in Salesforce will actually be created in Airtable as well. So let's go. For me, my Zapier remains 2 days. I don't know of any other person. I have 2 days trial left. So my subscription is that to today and then maybe tomorrow to expire. When it expires, I can actually open another account like I mentioned to you. But if you believe that you have done so many things in your Zapier and you don't want to lose them and you're ready to pay, you can pay for 3 months for $10. They have increased it. I told you last 2 months or thereabout, or last 3 months. I can't remember the exact time. It was $1. The promo was $1, but now they have increased it to $10. I don't know why. Or maybe because they saw my IP and they realized that maybe I benefited from the $1. Is anybody having this on their dashboard in Zapier? How much is it?
$10.
$10. Okay, all right, all right. Any other person? Amara, how much are you having?
Hi, sorry. Let me quickly check because I didn't have it open.
Okay, I agree. All right, so but for me it's $10. I don't know what happened. I told you earlier that it's actually $1, but it changed it or something like that. I don't know. But it's not
Yeah,
$10.
same $10. Same $10.
Okay, $10. Okay, fantastic. Maybe they changed it during the smooth. I can't even remember what was there maybe last 2 or 3 or 4 days. I didn't check it or I didn't take cognizance of it. Okay, so now that's what we want to do. We want to try and whatever record that we create in Salesforce is immediately uh, replicated on Airtable, and that's exactly what we want to do right now. So, you know the drill already. Nobody's new here. You go to the plus sign, click on create, and then click on Zaps. Now we mentioned that we want to create record in Salesforce, and once a record is created in Salesforce, then the same record should be created in Zapier, right? That's exactly what we want to do. So click on the trigger. So the trigger is what actually start the event. So click on the trigger. What we want is Salesforce, right? Click on Salesforce. And once that is done, so the question what triggered the event, what we want to trigger the event is when a contact is created in Salesforce, we want the same record to be created in our Airtable account. So choose event. So they say we want to do new contact, right? Say triggers when a new contact is created. So click on it. and then we want to try to uh, map our account as in Salesforce account in this example, or which we call Salesforce or Salesforce instance. Then you click on select. You can click on any of those. Okay, click on it, and then you can click on continue button, and then you can just test the trigger to see if it's working on it. Okay, so it's found a contact. Let's see the contact that it's found. Okay, then it's test. There's a contact that it's found, right? Okay, so click on continue. Select the record. So it means that it has passed. That's why it went to the second node. Okay. All right. So let's go to our Salesforce and see if we actually have this test there. Can you see it? We actually have the test there. So that's pick up this, right? All right. So let's go back to our Zap that we're building. So from here now, since our first node has been built, then we need to actually connect it to our Airtable account, right? So the action, that is what we want the event to do after it is triggered. Okay, so let's click on our node, action node, and then of course Airtable, right? Click on Airtable. And what do we want to happen? What is that we actually want to happen? We want a new record to be created, right? So you can just search, you can see already create a new record with auto-populating fields. Click on it, and then you select your account, right? You select your account. We already connected our account to it, so which now. Okay, I have two. I'll just check it, but I know what we have is soft code app. So if I click this, it doesn't work. I'll come and click the second one. Let me first click this first one here. Let me click continue, and I come back to this setup. Okay, I guess it's the right one. Yep, it's the right one. Soft code app is the name, which is here. Soft code app. Then the table. The table is contact address in table. And contact. Then you can click continue. Am I too fast? Am I too fast? Kingsley, you have to talk to me, Kingsley.
No, you are good.
Okay, all right, thank you so much. All right, so before you can continue, let's just map our fields. Thank you so much, Kingsley. Let's map our fields. So for the last name, on in our Airtable, we have last name, first name, phone, time created, and then email. Okay, but we are only mapping 4 fields: last name, first name, phone, and email. So let's go. So from here now, let's do last name. So you can see that Dennis test as last name, right? She's testing. Then the first name, Dennis, then the phone number. I think it's mobile that we used. Yes, the mobile. And the sorry. Um, and then the email. Good. And there's no assigning because we do the assigning and actually populate weight is there. So that's just stay with
I have,
the 4
I have a
fields.
question.
Please go ahead, Amara.
Yeah, this assignee, is it supposed to be the record owner?
Yes, the record owner. That's
Okay.
exactly what
So
it is to record now.
okay, so if we don't assign it now, for instance, and
Mm-hmm.
this is set up in a real org, how do, let's say there are like two or three sales rep, for example, and the
Okay,
records are
so
coming from HubSpot, how is it assigned to the right owner?
okay, so you can actually. I'm not saying that you cannot assign it right now. Okay, but
Yeah.
for example, let's assign it. Let's see how many assigned do we have in the org.
No, we don't need
Okay,
to
it's not
assign it now, right? I
okay.
know
Okay,
we can. So my question
okay.
is just can you just give me a realistic example of how you set up the assigning that it's, let's say both of us are sales rep in this organization and
Mm-hmm.
this record now is going to be a new record coming in. Who does
Mm-hmm.
this record go to? Who will be the record owner when it comes
And
into?
that's what I'm telling you. You have to assign it here. Once you assign it here, okay, once it comes to Airtable here, it actually pick
Okay,
up the assigning. Can you see it? In this
okay,
org right now, I have just only one assigning. I have only one user.
okay,
Do you understand?
okay.
So once
Yeah.
you assign it here in your Zap, okay, it assigned to this particular record user. I mean record owner.
So every time you're creating a Zap, you must also create the person that owns the records.
It's not required.
Okay.
It's not a required field.
Okay.
Do you
Okay.
understand? But you can make it
Mm,
required, but it's not a required field.
okay.
So you see now, once we actually finish with this Zap, you realize that this will be blank because it's not a required field, and we are not going to do it in our Zap. Does that make
Oh,
sense?
yeah, yeah. Okay.
All right, great. Okay, so now that we have done the four fields that are important to us for this particular exercise, okay, then click on continue. So from here now, we can test. Let us test our Zap. Let us see if it's working or not. And yes, I guess it's working because you can see that the test passed, right? So let us rename our Zap. Let's rename it Salesforce to Airtable. Salesforce contact to Airtable. Okay, just click enter. And we are good here. This is pretty straightforward, right? I guess. Kingsley?
Yes, it is.
Okay, well, great. Fantastic. Okay, so you can click on the publish button. Okay, so now that we have clicked on the publish button, if we go to our Airtable and we don't even have to refresh, you can see that what we created, test, Dennis, there's the uh, phone number, there's the time that it got created, this system time, okay? It's not something that you actually feel like, right? And then this the email, and of course, like I told you, Amara, are you there?
Yes, yes, I'm here.
All right, you can see that it's blank.
Mm-hmm.
It's blank. So you can actually come over here manually and assign to whoever wants to assign it to, but we have just only one user here anyway. All right, so
Okay.
all right, so that has been done. Now that we have done this, and then our Zap is live, published as they use in Zapier. Okay, so let us go and test with read data now without the tooling that we are doing inside the Zap itself. So let's go to Salesforce and let us try to create a new contact record. surprised that Salesforce has been lagging for about a week and is still continuing. Okay, so let's use Kingsley. Let's say King. Is it King or Kings? Sorry,
King. Yeah, King. Yeah,
King.
Slave. Yes.
Leslie. I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
yeah, no problem.
Kingsley. Okay, good, fantastic. So let's say Kingsley test, and I'll say testing. Then I think we used mobile rights. So let's use since number, and then of course it's going to be Kingsley test at gmail.com. We can save this record. Now that this record has been saved, this test has been saved. Let's go back to our Airtable. And you remember that our Zap actually run every 2 minutes, or sometimes it will actually be longer, and sometimes it will actually be less. So let us see. Okay, so it's running it to focus today. So let's just wait for it to come. Any question, please, based on this? I believe it's pretty straightforward. Christina, have you been able to solve the issues that you were having? She's still on this call.
Yes, I'm nodding.
Okay, have you been able to resolve the issue?
Yes.
Oh, okay, fantastic. I'm happy to hear that. Excited to hear that. Thank you. Okay. Um, Renike, you're welcome. Femi, you're welcome. Thank you. Being a bit late. Okay, I hope you're able to catch up with what we're doing because I don't know why you guys joined. All right, any
Not
question?
really, but I'll watch the recording.
Okay, that'll be good. Let's see. Okay, fantastic. Kingsley, can you talk to me? Kingsley, are you there?
Yes, I'm here with you.
Okay. All right, so you can see that our test record has now come in. Testing. Kingsley, this is the number that we give to Kingsley, and this is the email that we give to Kingsley. So I think that's pretty straightforward, but it's not straightforward is what we're going to be talking about right now, which is Zendesk. Okay, but it's not something that is as bad as coding. So don't jitter. Okay. So can we go
Question.
straight to question, please? Go ahead. Question.
Yeah, I know. I do see that duplicate records were created for me.
Okay,
I'm
that's
not
good.
sure why.
Okay, all right. So it's very possible that the record will be created for you. So we can actually stop that from doing that. So let's say,
I experienced the same thing too.
okay, fantastic. It's now
Yeah.
50. Let's see how do we stop sharing. Sorry, share again. Though I have no experience at UK record, let me see. Let me try to refresh. I'm going to get the UK record.
Can I just say something?
Please go ahead.
Yeah. So while I was creating mine, I
Okay,
had to
it's created. Okay,
delete.
fine.
I had to delete the last contact that Zinc from Airtable to Salesforce. So I deleted
Okay.
that contact on Airtable. So that's
Mm-hmm.
why I was doing this mapping now from Salesforce back to Airtable. I won't have the duplicates. So I deleted the contacts on Airtable so that when it comes
Mm-hmm.
back from Salesforce, it won't be duplicate. That was what I did. So I don't know if that could be the case why they're having duplicates.
Okay, I also have duplicates, so that might not actually solve the challenge. So what we need to do is that we should actually have a guide that will actually not make it to be a duplicate. So we can actually do two things. I mean, just one thing. I think one thing in Salesforce, we can actually do that. So see, okay, there is no configuration here from Salesforce. I was thinking that we can create a checkbox field. Oh, no configuration in Salesforce. Okay. And Airtable is something that is new to us. Let's see. Condition. Okay. That is some things about this, about all these other tools, because there's nothing that we can do here. Okay, but let me show you something. Like if it was in Salesforce that we are creating this, let's go to the first one that we created. That's the okay, like this Airtable to Salesforce. The configuration. Okay, so when it comes to the duplicate issues, but it's only in Airtable that we are seeing this, right? Did you experience duplicate record in Hotspot as well when we did
No,
Hotspot? No.
for
What
me,
of
no, it was just the Airtable.
just the Airtable? Okay, fantastic. So when we come tomorrow, let us spend too much time here since
Okay,
we have not
sure.
experienced that before. So when we come
Right.
tomorrow, we'll look at what we can do to prevent
Sure.
duplicate record. Okay, and
Sure.
then let me ask you, when you created the Airtable to Salesforce integration, did you
Uh-huh.
experience duplicate inside Salesforce?
Airtable to Salesforce.
Yes.
No, no, no. I don't think so. It's just
Okay. Okay, it's just from Salesforce to Airtable now that we are experiencing this.
yeah.
That's a fantastic
I,
scenario. We look at
I
it.
also want to say mine is behaving funny. So the duplicate record is a continuous process. It's creating both the first connection and the test record I created. It has done it like 4 times.
It's the
Okay,
I
all
same
right.
don't know
So
thing.
why.
okay,
Yeah,
all
it's the
right. So
same thing.
all
Same
what you
thing
just
here.
need to do is just off your I mean
Stop the
um
And
connection.
Zap.
turn off your Zap.
Okay.
Yeah, just turn off
Okay.
your Zap so that you will not have 1,000,001 records in your Airtable by the end of the day. So just turn up your Zap. It's as simple as that. Okay, at least we can see that the Zap works. That's the most important thing. For that is if creating a duplicate, that's not a problem. We actually look at ways by which we can stop the duplicate from being created in the Airtable. Let me turn off mine as well. Turn off your Zap. it's quite important that you do that so that you not have so much. Okay, yes. So mine is created about 4 times as well now. And you can see it's happening every 2 minutes. Every
Yeah.
2 minutes. Okay, fantastic. That's noted. We look at, we see what we can do in Airtable that will prevent duplicate record from being created. And then tomorrow we'll share that together.
I
All
think the
right, so
same thing happened in Salesforce. I see duplicated records as well. But yeah, we
okay.
can take a look some
Well,
other time.
when was that?
Just now, like the one I just created, I see duplicates in Salesforce as well.
I'm surprised mine
Just
was
saw
not
it,
duplicated.
but I see
But
Dennis test a couple of times for you.
for
Mine
me,
is
that this just something that I actually created just for
Oh,
me to
okay.
test. Yes.
Did someone else
Is
say
yours
theirs was?
also
mine has
personal
duplicates too.
in Salesforce?
Yeah.
Okay, fantastic. That's a very good one. That's a new challenge that we need to solve. Okay, but for other tools, we have not actually experienced that, so that's a good
No.
news. We will actually solve it tomorrow together for the duplicate record issue. Okay, so having mentioned that, let us move on to today's Zendesk. Any other observation, please, before we move on to Zendesk? I guess not. Okay, so let's go to Zendesk. Okay. Okay, so we will try and
Sorry,
look at.
can I
Okay, please
quickly
go
say?
ahead. Please go ahead.
I have an sorry, that's the right thing I'm putting. I have an idea of
Okay,
why I think this might be happening. I'm
okay.
thinking because we had done uh Airtable to Salesforce, and now
Mm-hmm,
we're doing Salesforce to Airtable. So I
mm-hmm.
feel maybe somehow there is a conjunction in there in Zapier. I don't know, but I feel somehow
I don't think that's what is happening. I wanted to show you something earlier. Let's go back to it because
you
it's important for us to actually get clarification on why it's happening. Let me show you.
okay. Because I checked my Salesforce just now, and I saw the same thing that was happening in Airtable was also happening in my Salesforce. So I'm
Yes,
wondering how the records are
others,
creating itself in Salesforce.
others have. You created a Zap last week. Have you forgotten?
Yeah, yeah, I know, but like I created just one test record, and now I'm seeing multiple of that test record. Like exactly what is happening in Airtable
In
is happening in
Airtable,
Salesforce as well. Yeah.
fantastic. We will
So
actually take a look at that and see how we can actually solve that. But I wanted to show you something. Let me go back there. It's six first, six first to sports. Let me quickly see if it's up I'm looking for. It's not this. The Zap that we created from hotspot to Salesforce. You see that it has a guide or a guard. That's a guard that says that should duplicate be allowed. That's what I'm looking for. I think it should be this one. It also use this one. Let me check this one first. Okay. Yeah.
I
There
think maybe
is
we can move on because of time.
yes.
We can do this tomorrow.
Yes, let's move on. Let's do this tomorrow because I'm looking for that says should duplicate be allowed and says yes, no. Just like what you have here that says use assignment rules. Okay. So let's move on just like you suggested. Tomorrow we will take a look at how to stop duplicate record from being created inside the uh Airtable and Salesforce altogether. Okay, all right, so let's move on. So like I mentioned, today we are starting with Zendesk. Hopefully our Zap will still be working by tomorrow, so we can actually continue with this. But if not, like I mentioned, we can actually create another Zapier account so that we can use this for the test. Okay, so Zendesk to Salesforce integration using Zapier. The objective of this particular uh, integration exercise is for you to be able to explain what Zendesk is and why organization use it. And for us that we are Salesforce professionals, the question for you to actually ask is, so why should we use Salesforce? Why should we use Zendesk again, since we have a case object in Salesforce? So why should we do that? Okay, so that's the question we want to answer by talking about Zendesk. Okay, I'm talking about this. To understand how Zendesk complements Salesforce, the relationship between CRM and customer support platforms. Okay, because really, Salesforce, like of course we all know, is a CRM. Okay, however, there are tools that are dedicated basically for support and support alone. And an example of that is Zendesk. Okay, and understand why Salesforce cases are integrated with Zendesk. So I think we're going to be looking at. So the question is, what is Zendesk? As business scale, as businesses as they scale or as a business scales, okay, fast support becomes a critical revenue driver. Because, for example, just imagine uh, the some organizations that we have in Africa and to be precise in Nigeria that really open up uh, the the customer service excellence in 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 our economy, especially in Nigeria, is the mobile networks. Before mobile networks, many companies don't really take customer service serious, okay? But when mobile network came upstream in Nigeria, for example, in about 20 years ago, okay, that's when people started seeing the customer service as as so to speak, as a profession, and then also as something that companies need to invest in. Okay, so why Salesforce manages the broad customer lifecycle, specialized support tools they are used to undo the high volume service debts. And an example of it is Zendesk. So Zendesk is a cloud-based customer service platform. Okay, it is they usually say to themselves that they are a help desk built specifically for customer support. Okay, so the things that Zendesk are that many, let me say many, that Salesforce case might not be able to provide in details. It's not that they can't provide it, but really, really in detail is support ticket management, customer issues, tracking and SLAs, multi-channel live chat and messaging. Remember, Salesforce also has live chat, right? And we have messaging in Salesforce, right? So, and then knowledge-based and self-based portal. Of course, Salesforce also has that. Okay, but one thing about Salesforce case, I mean, knowledge-based and self-service portal is that it's not you have to more or less like really work on it and then try to marry all the things together. Okay, even as a Salesforce professional, if it's not your day-to-day job, okay, you might find it very difficult. Okay, but Zendesk have actually brought everything together. Okay, they have synchronized them to the point that you don't need to have an understanding of what a knowledge uh, object is in Salesforce. Okay, have an understanding of how self-service portal works before you can actually use Zendesk. Okay, so that is the advantage that Zendesk has over case subject in Salesforce. And then agent performance analysis. Okay, of course, we know that Salesforce is also I mean, we are now really talking about agent force, which is important. But before the advent of agent force, okay, Zendesk have been using agent to help in the customer service. Okay, so why companies use Zendesk? It eliminates customer complaints uh, scattered across email and spreadsheets by centralizing the operation into one system. Like I mentioned earlier, Salesforce also has things that Zendesk offer. Okay, but really they're not that uh they are fragmented. Let me use that word. Okay, they're not that aligned very well. Okay, because really it was not built for that purpose in the first instance. Okay, so faster response. You will see it that when we start testing Zendesk, you just be getting emails. Okay, once a user is created, a user can be in Zendesk, a user can be either a customer or an admin user or something like that. Okay, so once created, you get mail immediately. Once a ticket is opened, you get mail as well. So there is faster response when it comes to Zendesk. Then organized queue, it categorize unresolved issues to prevent loss of inquiries. And then ICSAT, the customer service or customer satisfaction, as we call it, okay, is actually top notch. I, for many companies that are, let me say, for a few companies I've seen using Zendesk, they have actually, the feedback has been fantastic. The feedback from people that have been using Zendesk have actually been really been fantastic. Okay? So key department that could actually use Zendesk are the customer support, which is key. That's what they do. And of course, technical support as well. And then customer success, then IT, help desk, and then of course, operation department. Those are people or department that usually use Zendesk. Okay, so core terminologies that you need to know about Zendesk, at least for the knowledge that you want to actually gather, the things that you need to know so that you can understand what you are doing in Zendesk is you begin to hear something like ticket and requester. So the question, what's the ticket? A ticket is the support request submitted by a customer. And then the requester is the customer who opened the ticket. Basically, that's what ticket and requester is. Then agent and group. So agent is the representative resolving the ticket. So the agent in this place can actually be Iman, and then can actually also be the AI, and then also the group. The group is the team assigned to actually solve that particular issue. And then status life cycle tracks the progress through stages, okay, of the ticket itself. Okay, so the ticket can be actually be a new ticket, can be open ticket, can be pending, can be solved, and then can be closed. And all this, I mean, this is just a pick list anyway, just for them to manage the way it is. I mean, the progress that the ticket has actually made. Okay, and then priority levels. Okay, so this defines urgency to meet the SLA target. So it can actually be low, normal, high, or urgent. Okay, comparing the platform together, I think we have already talked about this. So because of our time, we don't really talk about it anymore. So, and I will always do this, we always say this. So why should we actually integrate the Zendesk So why can't operation just be on their own, or let's say customer service be on their own, let them do their own thing, and then let the sales department and maybe the marketing department do their own things. Salesforce, okay, why should we actually integrate? So support agent lack visibility into what sales is doing. If there is no integration, sales rep cannot see ongoing support issues that their customer have. You don't know what is, you do not have visibility of what is happening. Okay, customers repeat information to different teams. Okay, uh, the customer would they definitely have a BDR, and then we also be talking to the customer service agent. So the customer service agent will say, okay, give me your details. Okay, when the guy waits for about 1 hour, 2 hours, it's not actually seeing or traction on that particular ticket. He picks the phone and call the BDR in charge and say, okay, I submitted. He's like, oh, we did. Okay, can you submit again and things like so. The customer will be repeating information, then just be dancing around, not being able to solve the customer's problem. Okay, but when there is integration, there is unified 360-degree view of the customer history, sales notes, open support issues before upsell call. Okay, leadership gets complete operational visibility. Like the example I cited earlier, when the customer has already submitted the information to the customer service, there's no reason again that the BDR will be saying, okay, send me your information again. Okay, the guy can already see it in Salesforce, which is a platform that he has access to, does not have access to. Zendesk already seen that, okay, this particular ticket have been logged and then it's already been worked on. So what the BDR will tell the customer is, okay, you know what, we're already working on it. We have the information already, and then we'll get back to you. Does that make sense, Kingsley?
Yes, it does.
All right, thank you. Okay, and then Salesforce architecture, and then why should we actually do an integration with a case object and not any other object. So in Salesforce, a case represents actionable work that must be resolved, a problem, a complaint, a bug, or a service request. So definitely, so that's why it actually makes sense to actually use case object, sorry, and not any other object. Then typical feed mapping. Okay, so Zendesk also has, just like in our case, object in Salesforce, we have subjects. So Zendesk also has subjects. Okay, we have a description. Zendesk also has a description. We have priority. Yeah, they have priority as well, but like I told you earlier, because these are pick list field. Okay, uh, let's say don't mapping them so that we have exact what we want. And then also we have status, they have status as well. Okay, and then we have contact email or contact lookup. Okay, in Salesforce, they also have something like that, but they call it requester email. Requester email. Okay, and then we have external ID, they have ticket ID. Okay, so we can actually map the two together. And uh, when the issue of when the issue of what they call it now, the duplicate record came up earlier. Okay, so what came to my mind that we can actually use is the ID, from Airtable. Okay, so when we look at that, like I said, tomorrow, we're not looking at it today. Tomorrow, we look at how we can actually use the ID from Airtable to be able to ensure that there is no duplicate record being created. Okay, let's move on. Okay, so of course, we already talked about what we are going to do about doing some hands-ons, that whenever a ticket is created in Zendesk, the same is actually created in Salesforce. And we can actually do the bidirectional if we have the time, maybe tomorrow as well. Okay, so common challenges, we have always been using this particular slide. Okay, so if there are mandatory or like we call it in Salesforce, require fields, that Salesforce will actually reject the sync. Okay, then the API keys must not have expired. Okay, so that's why I always tell us if you actually uh signing into your org yesterday, okay, there's a need for you to do the reconnection so that you ensure that the auth, okay, is actually working. I mean, it's actually fresh, okay, so that it will not be rejected. And then also duplicate cases, like we're having in Airtable right now. Okay, what it's doing is that it's just looping over and over and over again, and that's why we're having that issue. Okay, but we know that we can use two things. We can use either a checkbox or we can use uh, a a record ID, so we can actually stop the looping from happening over and over again. Okay, and then of course, best practices map on necessary fields. Don't do as don't do much more than you actually need. Okay, align pick list values. Like I said earlier, when it comes to pick list and you're using Zapier, okay, Zapier has some advantage in that aspect. Okay, so when you're going to actually use some pick list value, you must be very careful in picking your pick list value so that you will not be seeing a value in Zendesk and another value entirely in Salesforce. And then test using realistic customer scenario and then returning all these Zapier tags logs for errors. I think we are good with that. I think we're good with that. Any question based on Zendesk pep talk? I like to call it because we can actually learn Zendesk in 10 minutes. Any question based on that before we move on? I guess there's no question. And our time is just fast spent. Can you imagine that? Okay, so we go to Zap and then let us rush it. Maybe tomorrow we just pick it up from there because already 11, just a minute to 11. What do you think? We should not start it today. Let's start it tomorrow. Kingsley? Kingsley? Am I the one? Let's go.
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay, all right. So what do you think? We should just wait till tomorrow before we start, right?
It depends on others. I'm here if
Mhm.
majority wants to like continue.
Okay. I think the 10 minutes that we used uh, to wait for others actually showed in our because we waited for like 10 to 12 minutes before we started. So
Yeah.
that was why we did not go ahead. So I think we should just wait until tomorrow before we start. Or what do you guys think? Should we use the next 5 to 10 minutes to see what you can do? But we will still be able to finish it anyway.
Yeah, we can create the contacts today and sync the whole thing tomorrow. I think we are still going to try to resolve the Airtable issue tomorrow. It's good, still going to eat into our time.
Yes, it will. It will. Okay. Are we all saying that we can stay for the next 9 minutes or thereabouts?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, great. All right. So let's quickly check what you can do for the next 9 minutes because some of us need to also remove ahead. Okay, let me share my screen. Okay, so of course we now know the drill very well. You click on the plus sign on Zapier, then you click on create, and then you click on Zap. Remember what you want to do right now. You want to ensure that whenever a record is created, a ticket is created on in Zendesk, then the same ticket, which the same record should be created in Salesforce case, right? So let's quickly rename our Zap to Zendesk, Zendesk to Salesforce. Oops. Okay, now that we have renamed that, let's connect our or we're going to select it off yet because of record. So let's go to our Zendesk. We have our Zendesk open. Is let's go to the Zendesk and let us do this. Okay, so our Zendesk has another way of taking a look at it, because it's not just a spreadsheet like Google or Airtable. So there's a need for you to do some prep before you can say you want to send something, but it's not hard. It's very, very easy to do. Okay, so what do we do? Get a mail that is legit, that is a mail that's legitimate, is very important. So can someone give me his or her email and let us do something? So the first that you're going to do is once you log into your Zendesk, it's going to come to somewhere like this, right? So click on the add button, click on it, and then click on user, right? So click on user. So what's the name? I think it's Kingsley that is speaking for us today. Kingsley developer. Does that speak about you, Kingsley?
Developer, no, that's Amara. But it's all good.
Okay, Amara is developer. Amara,
Yeah.
can you see? I said earlier that you are the senior developer that we have here. Amara, is still there?
I'm
Okay,
here.
so
I'm just laughing.
okay, so Kingsley, you have to give me your real email address because Zendesk does not joke does not joke with email address. You can't be doing what we were doing earlier with Airtable. Can you give me your email address, Kingsley?
Yeah, I'm typing that right now.
Okay, all right. On the chat. Okay, great. Is this so? Okay, thank you. Okay, so that's Kingsley's email address. And then you see that we have two user type. We have to call end user and staff member. Okay, because we are actually creating a case record in Salesforce, okay, you must actually choose end user. Okay, though you can still choose a staff member as well, but our requirement is talking about the end user. Our end user in this day, we're talking about customer, right? So click on the end user and click add. So what it does is that it's going to create a user or a customer record for Kingsley. Kingsley, if you check your mail, you should have received a mail from Zendesk saying that your customer record has been created in Zendesk by Softcode Technology. Okay, now that you have done that, then you can just close this user, just close it like this, and then now go back to your plus sign, plus button, click on it, And then now you're no longer adding a user because you already added Kingsley as a user. So you are actually creating a new ticket, right? So click on ticket. Now that you have click on ticket, remember when we were sharing the slide, we said that the customers or the contact email would be the requester email, right? So, but in this, you don't have a feed for email here because we already created a contact for Kingsley. But like I mentioned, the name changes, the nomenclature changes from contact to requester. Okay, so from this requester lookup field, you can see that is a lookup field, right? From this requester lookup field, you can just get our record that we shared that we did earlier. Can you see it? Kingsley, right? Click on it. It's a lookup field. Okay, now that we have gotten this, now we can assign this to a user in our organization so that you can actually have a record owner, right? Amara, you mentioned this earlier. So click on it.
Yeah.
And then click on support and click on our user. Or you can decide to assign to a group. You know, we mentioned it also in our in one of our slides. That you can have either a group can actually assign a ticket to either a group or a single user in the system. Okay, so let us show you. If you click this, you are assigned to the support as a group, or the everyone in the support department, okay, in the customer support department are going to get it, okay? Or you can assign to a specific user in the system. And we are going to assign to a specific user in the system, which is this particular person. That's what we are doing here. Okay, like I said, they also have subject field, just like we also have subject field. So subject here we can say RevOps training feedback. Okay. Okay, so that is the field. This place you can't write anything there. I'm always surprised whenever I come to Zendesk why they just created something as big as this and they can't write anything there. But that is their own architecture. I'm not trying to cast aspersion on them. I just feel that it's a waste of space. Okay, so this is where you can write the description. Okay, the description of what the ticket is all about, right? So in this place, just save, just put feedback, description, testing. Okay, that's that. Now you will see on the right hand side, downward your screen, you will see a button that says submit as new. You will also see that it has a button beside it, right? And the button says new open in progress pending solved. Okay, that was what I was talking about when I was talking about the status earlier. So let us submit it as what? As new. Just click on this and it's going to be submitted. Now that it has been submitted, if I check my mail, okay, if you check your mail, Kingsley, you should have received another mail. Does that make, have you received it? Did you receive the
Yes,
first
I
one?
received, no, I didn't get anything for the first one, but for this
Okay.
recent one, I got.
Okay, you got, okay, fantastic. Okay, so it says something like soft code technology created a ticket for you, blah, 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 blah,
Yeah,
blah, right? Okay, great.
yes.
All right, so That is that. Now that we have created our record, our test record that we would like to use, then we can now go to the Zendesk and our time just lapse. Okay, so that the video will not be too long. I think it's okay here. Yeah? Tomorrow we will continue with this. Stop sharing. All right, so thank you, everyone. Let me stop recording and then we can, if you want to say one or two things, you can actually say it. Let me just stop recording because of time, so I did not be too long.